Wyoming doesn't feel empty in summer, but in winter it feels erased. No trees, no towns, just wind, snow, and a road that stretches so straight it starts to feel unreal. They tell you not to drive I-80 during a winter storm. Truckers know that. Locals know that. But people still do. Evan Mercer wasn't supposed to be on the road that night. The weather alert came through his phone just after 6 p.m. Blizzard warning. 0 visibility expected. He read it while fueling up at a gas station outside Rock Springs, Wyoming. The wind was already screaming, rocking the pump handles, pushing dry snow across the asphalt like smoke. He checked Google Maps. 3 hours to Cheyenne. He did the math the way tired people always do. I'll beat it. I've driven in worse. It's just snow. Evan had a delivery deadline and a boss who didn't care about weather excuses. His Subaru was full of product samples. His heater worked fine, and the tires were new. So he pulled onto Interstate 80 as the sky turned the color of dirty cotton. At first, it wasn't bad. Light snow, steady road. Headlights cutting clean tunnels through the dark. But Wyoming storms don't arrive loudly. They sneak in. By mile marker 187, the wind picked up hard enough to shove the car sideways. Snow began falling not down, but sideways horizontal sheets slamming into the windshield. The road disappeared. Evan slowed to 30, then 20. Then he couldn't tell if he was still in his lane. His phone lost signal. Radio stations dissolved into static. The only thing he could see was the yellow glow of his headlights and the thin white line at the edge of the road. Then, without warning, the world went white. A complete whiteout. No horizon, no sky, no road, just light and snow. Evan slammed the brakes. The car slid, ABS rattling violently. He clenched the wheel, heart pounding, until the Subaru finally stopped. Silence followed. Not quiet, but the deep, muffled silence of snow swallowing everything. His hazard lights blinked uselessly into the storm. He took a breath. Okay, he told himself. Just wait it out. That's what you're supposed to do. He stayed in the car for 10 minutes, then 20. The wind rocked the vehicle hard enough to make the suspension groan. Snow piled against the doors. The heater struggled, air turning lukewarm. Evan checked the fuel gauge, just under a quarter tank. Panic crept in, slow and unwelcome. He needed help. He cracked the door. The wind punched him in the chest, stealing his breath. Snow blasted his face instantly, blinding, freezing. He pulled his jacket tight and stepped out onto the road. That's when he saw the mile marker. 187. The green sign stood perfectly upright, dusted with snow, barely visible through the storm. Relief washed over him. He wasn't lost. He wasn't drifting. He walked 20 steps away from the car, boots crunching through snow that felt deeper than it should have been. Visibility was maybe 10 feet. He turned around to look for his Subaru. It wasn't there. His heart skipped. He spun in a slow circle, breath fogging thick in front of him. Nothing, just white. Then, to his right, headlights flickered. His car, exactly where it should have been. Evan laughed shakily, blaming adrenaline. He walked back, climbing inside, slamming the door shut. Another 10 minutes passed. The wind did not let up. The heater grew weaker. His fingers started to sting inside his gloves. That's when he noticed something strange. Through the windshield, past the dancing snow, the mile marker was closer, much closer. It stood just beyond his hood. 187. He frowned. He was sure it had been farther away. Had the car rolled? He shut off the engine to conserve fuel. The silence felt heavier without it. Minutes stretched. Cold crept in. Evan decided he couldn't just sit there. He opened the door again and stepped out, aiming for the mile marker. 10 steps. 5. He reached out and touched the signpost. Cold metal bit his palm through the glove. He turned around. The car was gone. Not hidden. Gone. Panic exploded in his chest. He shouted, his voice swallowed instantly by wind. He stumbled backward, boots slipping, heart racing. Then, headlights snapped on behind him. He spun. The Subaru sat 10 feet away, engine running, hazard lights flashing. Evan didn't question it. He ran, nearly falling, yanked the door open, and dove inside. Hands shaking, breathing ragged. I'm losing it, he thought. Cold does this. Stress does this. He turned the engine off again. Minutes later, he noticed something that froze him worse than the cold. The mileage on the dashboard. It hadn't changed. He'd been stopped for nearly an hour, but the trip meter showed no time passing. His phone buzzed suddenly. 1 bar of signal. A voicemail notification. No missed call. Just voicemail. He pressed play. Static filled the speaker. Then a voice. Calm, official. Wyoming Highway Patrol. If you're hearing this, stay with your vehicle. Do not attempt to walk for help. Whiteout conditions are causing disorientation, and the message cut off. The phone died. Evan stared at the black screen. Outside, something moved. A shape just beyond the headlights. Human-sized, standing near the mile marker. He squinted. The shape didn't move, didn't wave, didn't react to the wind. It just stood there, waiting. Evan cracked the window and shouted. No response. The shape turned. Not walked, turned, and began moving closer, slowly, dragging its feet through the snow. Evan slammed the window shut, locking the doors even though he knew it wouldn't matter. As the figure reached the hood, the headlights flickered. For a brief moment, he saw it clearly. It was a man, frozen solid, eyes wide, mouth open mid-scream, skin gray-blue with frost. His jacket bore a faded company logo, a trucking firm Evan recognized. The figure leaned closer, frost-covered hand pressing against the glass. Then it vanished, just gone. The mile marker stood alone again. 187. Morning came quietly. The storm passed. A state trooper found Evan's Subaru half buried in snow. Engine cold, doors locked. Evan sat behind the wheel, hands folded neatly in his lap, eyes open, frozen. No footprints led away from the car. No signs of struggle. Just one strange detail. The mile marker beside the vehicle read, Mile 186. Records later showed that mile marker 187 had been removed years earlier after a pileup killed 6 drivers during a whiteout. Survivors claimed they'd tried to walk for help. All of them said the same thing. They kept seeing the same mile marker, no matter how far they walked.